Presented by Cursed by the Witch. Warning, use headphones before listening to horror podcast story.
This Halloween season we are presenting secrets of witchcraft and lots of witch stories. Lurking Shadows of the Witch's Mark centers on Amelia Finch, a young historian drawn to the reclusive village of Oakmere, infamous for its dark past tied to the witch hunts of the 17th century. Driven by her fascination with occult history, Amelia uncovers ancient stories about Marwen Blythe, a supposed witch who cursed Oakmere before her execution, vowing to return for vengeance on the descendants of her persecutors. Amelia, skeptical but curious, arrives in Oakmere hoping to learn more, only to find herself entangled in the chilling reality behind Marwen's curse and a creeping darkness that seems to follow her every move. Part 1: The Arrival and the Village's Secrets. As Amelia settles into her temporary lodgings at an old inn, she notices the eerie stillness of Oakmere's atmosphere. The villagers keep to themselves, casting wary glances at her whenever she asks about Marwen Blythe. Amelia soon realizes that Oakmere's residents have never fully let go of the fear surrounding Marwen, still practicing secret rituals meant to keep her spirit at bay. She hears whispers of the witch's mark, a curse rumored to manifest on the skin of those haunted by Marwen's spirit. One evening, she befriends Evelyn Cragg, an elderly local with knowledge of the village's grim history. Evelyn shares that her family was part of the original witch hunt against Marwen, and that over the years, each generation has suffered mysterious deaths, as if cursed. She reveals that all who encounter Marwen's spirit bear a mark, a shadowy, bruised shape on their skin that grows darker as her spirit draws nearer. Intrigued yet disbelieving, Amelia dismisses the warnings as folklore. But her skepticism wavers when she notices an inexplicable bruise on her own wrist, a dark smudge that seems to pulse and grow by the day. Part 2: Strange Occurrences and Haunting Visions. As days pass, Amelia begins to experience unsettling phenomena. Shadows in her room move when there's no light, strange murmurs fill the silence, and chilling drafts pass over her at odd moments. Every night, she has vivid dreams of Marwen Blythe, her eyes burning with rage as she chants a curse over Oakmere. Each time she wakes, the bruise on her wrist appears darker, now forming the shape of a small, twisted symbol she recognizes from her research as the mark of the witch. Desperate for answers, Amelia digs into the town records, discovering that the townsfolk, led by Amelia's own ancestors, tortured Marwen to extract a confession before binding her to an ancient oak and burning her alive. Legend has it that as the flames consumed her, Marwen screamed a curse that darkened the sky, casting shadows over Oakmere ever since. The symbol on Amelia's wrist, she learns, is Marwen's personal mark, used to summon the shadows to claim those cursed by her wrath. Part 3: The Witch's Mark Takes Hold. Amelia's dreams grow more intense, filled with scenes of Marwen's death and the brutal faces of the villagers who watched her burn. She begins to see Marwen's figure lurking in mirrors and reflections, her hollow eyes filled with hatred. The bruise spreads, dark tendrils snaking up her arm, almost like roots embedding themselves under her skin. Evelyn confesses that her family, too, has the witch's mark, hidden under bandages and long sleeves, each generation passing it down as a grim inheritance. One night, Evelyn tells Amelia the only known way to rid oneself of the witch's mark, an ancient ritual that requires invoking Marwen's spirit and facing her in the shadows. The ritual is risky, as any mistake could invite Marwen's wrath rather than quelling it. Torn between fear and curiosity, Amelia decides to try the ritual, hoping to both free herself and uncover more about Marwen's life before her tragic death. Part 4: The Ritual and the Dark Confrontation. Amelia and Evelyn meet under the old oak tree where Marwen was burned, the gnarled branches casting eerie shadows. As midnight strikes, they light candles and recite incantations found in Marwen's journal, which Amelia had recovered from a hidden archive. Shadows gather around them, twisting into human forms, their silent faces contorted with fear and pain. Marwen's spirit appears, her face a ghastly mask of revenge, her form shrouded in darkness. Marwen reveals that she does not rest because she was betrayed not just by the village but by those she once trusted. She explains that she will continue marking the descendants of her betrayers until someone recognizes her suffering. As Marwen's gaze settles on Amelia, the witch's mark on her arm flares with pain, binding her to Marwen's spirit. The shadows tighten around Amelia, suffocating her as Marwen whispers her intent to claim Amelia's life in exchange for her lost soul. Evelyn, realizing that Marwen seeks retribution, begs for forgiveness on behalf of her family. But Marwen's wrath remains, unwilling to be satisfied by words alone. Evelyn offers herself as a willing sacrifice, a way to atone for her ancestors' sins. Marwen pauses, considering Evelyn's offer, and the shadows that surround Amelia ease as Marwen redirects her focus. Part 5. The Final Mark and the Village's Redemption. In a shocking turn, Marwen accepts Evelyn's sacrifice, transferring the mark fully to her. Evelyn, now marked, tells Amelia to leave the village immediately and never return. She explains that the witch's curse can only be subdued, never broken. As Marwen's spirit closes in on Evelyn, her expression becomes one of bittersweet acceptance. Amelia watches as Evelyn vanishes into the shadows, her form fading like smoke, leaving only silence and a cold wind behind. Amelia leaves Oakmere, her arm finally free of the mark but her mind haunted by the experience. Years later, she learns that the village has started to heal, with sightings of Marwen's spirit becoming rare and the shadows retreating. However, locals still say that on certain nights, a shadow can be seen under the old oak, watching with hollow eyes. Back in the city, Amelia often finds herself staring into dark rooms, feeling as if she's still being watched. The experience stays with her, the witch's mark gone from her skin but forever engraved in her memory. She never returns to Oakmere but cannot escape the chilling feeling that Marwen Blythe's curse remains, lurking in the shadows, waiting for another chance to make its presence known.
Thank you for watching. Just like and subscribe.